What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing the price of Bitcoin, which is currently dipping today as I speak. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin. We're currently trading just above 63,000. Now, the sentiment that I'm noticing for people in general is a little bit of aggravation, boredom, disappointment. But for Bitcoin, nothing abnormal is taking place. People are very fearful today on this dip. After going from 15.5K all the way to 74,000, every time we dip, there is major fear on every dip, including today's baby dip right here. And so the fact that we're seeing so much negative sentiment on every dip, when we're sitting right next to the all-time high, this is a fantastic signal, at least for me, in my experience, because there's no euphoria. Nobody's happy. Nobody's just cheering about all their profits yet. All right, this is great. We're still early in the cycle. When everyone starts to say, don't be afraid of the dip, that's when you should start being afraid of the dip. So right now, I'm feeling pretty good about this negative sentiment, or sort of the lack of enthusiasm, you can call it. Also, another very important signal is the daily RSI at the bottom. Look at the bottom of the screen. You can see I have the daily RSI mapped out, and I've also labeled the price action with impulse up, sideways, impulse up, sideways, impulse up, and we're currently going sideways. These prices are the same, it's the same price as the end of February of this year. So we're sitting in a sideways range and people are scared, and we are just 16% from the all-time high, pretty close. So looking at this chart here and what I've mapped out, the next step is another impulse up if we were gonna get continuation on this series. Now, if you look down at the RSI on the daily RSI, you can see that every time the price is about to get a major move up, we have a break of the RSI resistance and a retest back down. It doesn't have to happen. It didn't happen right here. But if you look closely, most of the time when we break out of this daily RSI downtrend, the RSI comes back, hits it as new support, and what happens after that? A major move up. The next time over here in March of this year, RSI resistance, breakout, retest. What happens right here? Major move up. At the very least, it signals that there is some kind of move up coming. And right now we are at the retest zone of this RSI downtrend. So if we bounce off this RSI, previous resistance, as new support, pretty much right where we are here, around that 44 level, if we bounce here, that signals another major move up, or at least some kind of move up, at least towards the resistance, or a breakout into new all-time highs. So I'm looking for a higher low on the RSI and a continuation of this behavior that we've been seeing since the start of 2023. Nothing has changed. Bitcoin is just going sideways. In March, we went sideways for, how long was that, guys? It was like 215 days. Right now, we've been going sideways for 160. So this is not out of the ordinary, right? These long sideways ranges, Bitcoin's at a higher market cap now. It may just take a little bit more time for the price to move, but I am still bullish. I'm remaining bullish. The trend is still your friend. And in the last video, we discussed this scenario where currently the price is right here. And I was just mapping out what a bull market could look like if we were to get continuation. And if you want to watch the whole explanation for this chart, it's the last video I posted 9 days ago on this channel. I haven't made a video in 9 days because I was in Bitcoin Nashville, Bitcoin 2024. And obviously now I'm back, so the content will get rolling again. Now, switching to Bitcoin on the weekly, this is the current halving that we just had, April 19th of this year, about 13 or 14 weeks ago. And so when you look at past cycles, how long does it take Bitcoin to reach a top? On average, it's, well, almost every time, it's in between 40 to 80 weeks. This is the 40th week. Here's the 80th week. So in the 2020 halving, 40 weeks in, we got our first top. And then the 80th week, we got the second top, right around the beginning of the halving cycle profit zone, which is an indicator that is free to use that I've published on TradingView, Bitcoin halving cycle profit. If you go back in time to the halving before that, the 2016 halving, Bitcoin's top. 80 weeks later, right around that 80-week zone is where we found our top. Go to the cycle before that, closer to the 40th week is where we found our top. But just showing you guys that on average, after the halving, anywhere from 40 to 80 weeks. And now if we zoom out to where we are now, well, you can see that we're not really anywhere near it just yet. So people are being very impatient, and they kind of, I think the last cycle or the cycles before that spoiled people, and they just want their rewards right now. And every day that goes by where the price isn't going to the moon, they're getting upset. But Bitcoin's market cap is quite high, and the altcoins have to get used to the fact that Bitcoin is a bit of a slow mover now. The market cap is high, right? It's going to be going sideways a lot more than usual. So once the market is used to that idea, I think the behavior will begin to change a little bit more over time, but that's a whole nother topic. We're only 13 or 14 weeks post-halving. So in theory, we have at least another 25 weeks to go, which is January, before we could reach the 40th week. And also, as you've seen, as I just showed you, the 80th week has the highest hit rate of being the top. So however that plays out, you never know exactly what's gonna happen, but 40 to 80 weeks, you have another half year to hit the 40-week zone. So there's a lot of things that can happen between now and then. So I encourage you guys to just be patient, right? And I know nobody wants to, but if you look at the last cycle, look at the bottom left of the screen, it took, after the halving, we went sideways, straight sideways for 23 weeks after the last halving. We've only been going sideways for 14 weeks, so it's nowhere near as bad as the last cycle. For those of you that were here with me on this channel, that was one of the most boring moments in the cycle. There were some low caps. Uniswap was just launched, and of course, the DEXs were getting some volume back then. But this has really not been all too much time. Go back to 2017, you can see we went straight sideways before breaking out again after the halving for 20 weeks almost, right? It's 20 weeks sideways. It's only been 13 or 14 weeks. So this is normal sideways price action. We're just getting some previous all-time high chop, all-time high resistance, a little bit of chop, and then run again into that 40th week. So I think before the 40th week, we will likely see major upside moving into that 40th week. But I just want to make this video to give you guys a little bit of perspective on the timing and where we are and how it was in past cycles, and why what we're seeing right now is not anything abnormal. Bitcoin actually reached a new all-time high earlier than usual. The next step is just to see Bitcoin close weeklies and trend above the all-time high, and that is when alt season begins. So altcoins normally wait for Bitcoin to close multiple weeklies above the all-time high for speculators to have confidence to jump into the low cap coins. So I just want to explain the dynamics of what's going on. In the last video, I explained this chart, so check it out if you want to. It should be popping up on the top of your screen. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. Be sure to sign up with Kraken Pro, the platform that you guys see me use in all of my videos. And if you want extra content, join the Patreon. There is an annual discount, and there are also limited slots for Patreon. Join today, and I'll see you all in the next video.